up behind him, I was like, I'm expecting a hit. I want a hit at this point. I was like, Matt Hardy has gotten his. Woken Matt has gotten the jump on Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt has got nothing so far in this. I feel like it was time. I feel like this was the time for Bray Wyatt to get his back, and then maybe next week before the show before the pay-per-view, whichever one that is, you can have your epic laugh off then. Have Bray Wyatt get his back on Woken Matt, and then they can do the stare down, and they can do the stare down epic laugh going into the Royal Rumble. When who the hell knows what's gonna happen? Imagine they team up in the Royal Rumble.
But Brian, why settle by just attacking each other when you can attack the world?
You know what? Knowing the two of them, that actually makes way too much sense.
And it's the WWE, so that means if it makes sense, it's not gonna happen.
I'm sorry, I don't even want to see a match between them. I just want them to team up and just take over the Raw tag team division. I'm sorry,
and Tarek wants it, so it's not gonna happen.
I want it so bad. I think it's just every time these guys are together, I'm like, they fit so perfectly together. They're amazing. I want more.
Well, again, we've got the Royal Rumble coming up in just a couple weeks, so we'll see how things progress.
I could just see their clothes, the whole Dirk. I could just see Dirk broken.
Stranger things have happened. But before we get that, we also have this week's SmackDown Live.
Ugh.
Not too much you enjoyed, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I gotta hear this.
Just did nothing for me.
Hey, you said the entire week did nothing for you, so what else you got?
That's...
Let's kick things off with the first main focus of the show, which apparently was the handicap main event of AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Randy Orton versus Owens and Zayn.
I'm just about done. I've too much Daniel Bryan, Shane McMahon this week. Too much. 7 segments of Daniel Bryan, Shane McMahon. I'm like, this is all well and good, okay, but if we're gonna talk shit about Stephanie McMahon and on the Raw side and all that, and and Kurt Angle on the Raw side being on it so much, we got to do the same for the authority figures on the SmackDown side. Yeah, I get that they're building up for one of them to turn, but 7 segments on a 2-hour show.
I'm actually gonna agree with you. There was a lot of it.
You get me 1 or 2 good segments. You get me Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan in the opening segment. You get me Shane McMahon, Daniel Bryan somewhere in the handicap match somewhere. Because why not? Other than that, I don't need any more.
There was the one segment I felt that was completely unnecessary was Shane McMahon kind of opposing Daniel Bryan's decision on allowing the 2 out of 3 falls match for the tag titles, with Chad Gable, Shelton Benjamin versus the Usos. When Shane came in, it's like, why are you giving these guys the opportunity? They don't deserve it. I'm like, well, did you pay attention? Yeah. Are they now just slowly starting to build like every decision one of them makes, the other one has to say something about it?
Shane McMahon is being turned into Stephanie from when Mick Foley was general manager. Always having something to say.
That's what I'm noticing.
Yeah,
I am noticing, but it's not bothering me. It's starting to get to me, but it's not reaching that point where you're just like, okay, enough already. Let's do something about this. Which I think they're going to do something about this at Royal Rumble.
They need to.
Especially in that handicap match.
Someone needs to turn.
Someone's going to throw the first punch at Royal Rumble.
Yeah, but quit it with the half the show is you up until then. That was the main thing that took me out of the show. I was like, they opened up the show, and it's like, okay, this is expected. I'm all good.
I actually liked the opening segment.
I
with
did.
AJ Styles and Renee Young in the ring and his response to the handicap match.
Yeah,
and Kevin Owens saying that when we win, we're going to be the first ever WWE champions. I like that. It took the whole storyline where people say, "Look, oh, it's a handicap match, and both guys are going to be fighting to see who gets the pin and the title." They threw that old-fashioned storyline out the window about it, and I'm like, that's good. I like this, and I liked Shane McMahon coming in and at the end during the whole match and saying, it's now this, so you guys stop trying to get out of this.
Yeah.
And you should have had just the third one of them disagreeing, and then Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon shaking hands. That's it. And maybe just have the Daniel Bryan making the tag match, because I did like that, even though personally I felt the Gable and Shelton Benjamin stuff that they were saying was kind of like, ooh, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the delivery or is just what in general you said. I didn't like it very much.
But yeah, that's the main thing that took me out of the show. Too much
authority,
not enough of the good stuff, like Becky Lynch, Ruby Riott. That was good. Give these females a good 15 minutes on a pay-per-view. No commercials, none of that, and you'll get yourself probably the best women's match of the year. I'll say that right now. This was good.
Yeah, I gotta admit, am I the only one who seems to genuinely enjoy Ruby Riott?
I like her in doses. I like her when she's wrestling one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
Not with the other two.
Fair enough.
I'm not gonna lie. It's right now both women's division on Raw and SmackDown are I am just not caring on what's going on. Although I will say the Nia Jax, going back to Raw quickly, the Nia Jax Asuka moment I kind of like, even though it's stemming from like Mean Girls bullshit from Alexa Bliss telling, "You should heard what Asuka said about you." What did she say about me? Oh, no, you didn't. I'm going to kick your ass just because Alexa Bliss said something that you said something, possibly.
What can I say? It's the WWE writing staff. Old habits die hard, I guess.
And considering they're basically Mean Girls on Twitter anyway, it makes sense.
The women's division is just not working for me. Period. So I just didn't care about the Becky Lynch Ruby Riott match.
But you know what got me into it to begin with.
Yeah,
technical wrestling.
That's why.
And then
sure.
It turned into a.
The Riot Squad is dead.
It turned into a really good match, and then I looked on Facebook afterwards, and they're going back to the 6 women tag next week. So yeah,
same shit.
It's one
the
on
same shit again.
It was a good little respite, but we're back to status quo next week.
It's obviously what we said it already. It's all built. It's all just because they're just waiting for the Rumble. But my God, make it at least somewhat interesting. It's copy-paste storytelling for both shows. 6-man. It's a 6-woman tag next week. Well, it was a 6-woman tag on Raw last week. It's just copy-paste storytelling right now, and it's boring the shit out of me.
Well, even so, is there any other random other thoughts on SmackDown this week?
The Ascension is dead.
The Ascension has been dead for years.
No,
also, water's wet.
Even when they turn face, there's no hope for these guys.
No.
It's a goddamn shame.
No.
Bludgeon Brothers, start going against someone else. You destroyed Breezango, which they defeated Rusev Day. Pretty much another copy-paste storytelling from when with Titus Worldwide beating the Bar.
It's another Zack Ryder in his prime situation. Rusev got himself over with the crowd with his Rusev Day, and
WWE
he's the most over. He's the most. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but other than AJ Styles, he's the most over guy on SmackDown right now.
I concur.
By
I was there.
accident.
I was there for one of those shows. He was the most over thing going on. They're taking the New Day chances. Rusev Day.
Yeah.
Rusev Day. He is.
It was not WWE approved. So, yeah, he's losing to
Breezango.
Yeah. So,
and okay, let's see what else. The United States Tournament, Mojo Rawley and Zack Ryder had a pretty decent match. Speaking of Mojo, did you see his
Mojo cuts the best
the off script promo that he did in his car?
Mojo cuts the best cell phone promos ever.
It really his promo really was awesome. I want that Mojo on Raw, on SmackDown.
Yeah, as I said during the pay-per-view that you give me the Mojo Rawley that we've seen in the car on the video phone, and that's a Mojo that will go far in the WWE. The Mojo that is on TV, just not really doing that. What he's doing on the phone, that guy's going nowhere. The Mojo that I see in the car, that's a guy who will go places.
Well, of course he's going to go places. He's in a car.
Shut up, Jeff.
Bum.
He's going to go from the bottom of the mountain to the top.
It makes
and
me look
we'll actually give a shit this time.
It makes me look forward to the Bobby Roode Mojo match next week.
Yeah.
More so than Jinder Mahal versus Xavier Woods.
Because we know what's going to happen there. Sorry, Xavier, you had a good run. That's it.
But all that being considered, fellas, is there really any discussion as far as which one was the better show this week?
They were both boring, but Raw did more for me.
I think it's more. I'm going to go with Raw, just because there was an attempted murder.
There was an attempted murder and Balor Club. Yes,
and an official Balor Club. But yeah, attempted murder is what sold it to me.
Attempted murder.
To attempted murder.
Saving Monday Night Raw.
I didn't hear it because my volume was turned down. Was there a "This is murder" chant?
Not this time.
No, I didn't hear that.
I'm very disappointed on
the
that
crowd.
One.
The crowds have been.
Both crowds were terrible this week. Maybe that's another reason why the shows kind of felt so lackluster.
Yeah, that certainly
even
didn't
during
help.
the 6-man tag main event on SmackDown, or the handicap match. No one really got a big pop. AJ didn't get a big pop. Shinsuke didn't get a big pop. Orton didn't get a big pop.
And if AJ Styles isn't getting a big pop, then you know you've come to the wrong place.
Hell, even the Rusev Day chants weren't that big. Both crowds sucked us. Where were they? Both shows.
I don't even know.
Sucky Town and Suckyville.
Sucky Town and Suckyville. Sucky, quack, quack. But anyway, we've spent a lot of time this week talking about the Royal Rumble. And since it is January, if you've been following our show for any length of time, at least in January, you'll know that this is when we do our big annual game of the year. It is the annual, this year, the 2018 Royal Rumble prediction game on Facebook. This is the 8th annual show game that we've been running. It's always a ton of fun every year, and it makes every single Royal Rumble that much more fun. So keep an eye out for that. It is scheduled to go live, the game, on Facebook this Saturday, the 14th at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you're listening to this, if you're listening to us on iHeartRadio, right?
Yeah.
On the Filling the Void Radio Network. Thanks, guys. If you're listening to us live on the iHeartRadio Network and part of Filling the Void Network, this game should go live right after this show. Again, it's really easy to play. Just pick three 3 numbers, 1 through 30, along with the names of the 2